Guys, welcome back to another Bookhouse YouTube video. Today we got our starts and sits for week 14. And boys, before we get into it, check out our SOBET. It's the first link in the description. We'd love for you guys to join the awesome community over on there. On the SOBET, every single primetime game we post our star, sit, and sleeper. Every often we post our best bets on there. You also get the exclusive content of 25 plus other creators as well. If you sign up with us, go check it out. Love for you to join the community on SOBET. First link in the description. First start of the week, we got Tony Pollard. He has the best possible matchup against the Texans. Like we say every week, Texans are dead last against running backs. They are absolutely horrible. Plus, Pollard obviously has been balling. Both him and Zeke have been splitting, but they've both been super productive. In the last 3 weeks, Tony Pollard has a week as the RB2 and as the RB1. He has been absolutely cooking. Love the matchup. Have to start Tony Pollard. And going off the Tony Pollard pick, we also love Ezekiel Elliott. Like I said, the Texans are the worst team in the NFL against RBs, and Zeke has been on a touchdown spree recently. Each of the past 5 weeks he scored, and in that time span, 2 of those games he scored twice. So that's 7 total touchdowns in the past 5 weeks. Plays on 58% of snaps. Both him and Pollard are going to get their touches. Love both these guys against the Texans. Next up, a bit of a risky one, but we got Jerry Jeudy. He is questionable. I think he's been limited in practice all week, but assuming he is healthy and good to go, he has a great opportunity to do super well against the Chiefs. Chiefs are number 28 against wide receivers. Plus, Courtland Sutton is doubtful. Jerry Jeudy last week was on a snap count, only played on 38% of snaps, but he had 4 targets, caught all 4 of them, 65 yards for 10.5 fantasy points. Again, if he's on a snap count, not tons of upside, but if he's fully healthy, good to go, he has awesome upside against the Chiefs. And our fourth start of the week, I don't know if I'd see this guy back in starting lineups this year. It's DeAndre Swift. Swift has finally taken over this backfield once again. Last week played on 51% of snaps. He's playing the Vikings. The Vikings are currently number 19 against RBs. Last time he played the Vikings, only 7.6 points, but that was because he got injured. Now he's taken over the backfield. Could be a very high scoring game. And if the Lions score touchdowns, a lot of times it's to their RBs. Jamal has a lot of touchdowns, but if Swift takes over this backfield a little bit, should get at least some goal line work. Has 3 touchdowns in the past 4 weeks. He's scoring a little bit. Love the Swift start. And our defensive pick of the week, Dallas Cowboys. Pick them a ton. This is a pretty easy one. Cowboys are the number 1 defensive fantasy right now. Texans are 31st, second worst against defenses. Their offense has been absolutely horrible. I believe they're going back to Davis Mills, but that shouldn't really matter. Expect the Cowboys to absolutely blow them out. Yeah. Must start if you have the Cowboys defense. In our last start of the week, we got Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert was being drafted as this elite QB, but just hasn't lived up to it. He's a QB 8 right now, not terrible, but not amazing. He's finally getting Mike Williams back. All his weapons are finally here, and he plays the Dolphins. Let me read you out these stats real quick. The Dolphins on the road are averaging the other team scoring 32.8 points. When the Dolphins are at home, they're only allowing the other team to score 15.3 points. These games, every single time the Dolphins are on the road, it's an absolute shootout. This game's in LA. Herbert versus Tua could be very high scoring. Herbert's got all of his weapons. He needs to be in your fantasy lineup. And our first sit of the week, we got Dameon Pierce. It is a bad matchup against the Cowboys, who are number 6 against running backs. Plus, like we said before, expect the Cowboys to run away with this game. Kind of have to abandon the run. Plus, Dameon Pierce just hasn't been good recently. Last week, I believe he had 12 points. 2 games before that, under 8 points in both games. Pretty bad outing, and he has not scored over 16 points since week 5. He has not been great for fantasy recently, and in a horrible matchup, we would avoid Dameon Pierce if you could. In our second sit of the week, we got Deshaun Watson. We told you guys to sit this guy last week, put up under 10 points. You got to remember, Deshaun hasn't played football, a real regular season football game in 2 years besides last week. Deshaun, he did not look sharp at all, and he has a tough matchup against the Bengals. Bengals currently number 6 against quarterbacks. Also, Nick Chubb, last time he played the Bengals earlier this year, put up over 25 fantasy points. The Browns should look to lean on Nick Chubb. Hopefully won't have to throw too much with Watson. Watson just isn't looking good. We would sit him in fantasy. Next sit, another quarterback, Dak Prescott. It's not because we don't like Dak. We just think this matchup is going to be much more of a run-heavy game. Houston, I believe, is top 10 against quarterbacks, but that is mainly because they are just so bad against the run. Teams are just running on them instead of having to pass. Again, expect Pollard and Zeke to have big-time games. Dak not have to carry much of the load. Don't love his upside in this game. In our second last sit of the week, we got Michael Carter. Michael Carter plays the Bills, who are top 10 against RBs. And Michael Carter is coming back from injury. He should be good to go, but he could be in a split backfield. Zonovan or Bam Knight is playing pretty well. James Robinson should get at least a little bit of work. Ty Johnson's getting some work a little bit. This matchup is so tough. The spread right now is Buffalo minus 10. Definitely could be a blowout. Could abandon the run. run. Don't love Michael Carter this week. And our last sit of the week, this is by no means a must sit. This is basically just to temper your expectations. It is CeeDee Lamb for the exact same reasons we had Dak Prescott. The Texans are number 6 against wide receivers, but it's just because they are so bad against the run. Don't expect the Cowboys to have to pass a ton. Again, you have to start CeeDee Lamb. This is mainly just a lower your expectations for him. And boys, thanks so much for watching the video. Again, check out our SOBET. Join the awesome community. Love the guys over on the SOBET. Boys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.